Raptors lose yet another game where it's right there for the taking. But in these tight games, as I say, good teams, they find ways to get over the line and win these games. The Raptors seemingly right now, not a good team. All right, so the Raptors lose this one. There's 19 seconds left. I've had enough. The way they closed this game was abysmal. The Pacers took full advantage of the Raptors late in this game. Raptors defense fell apart. Wasn't great all game. Raptors offense was fine throughout the game. Bench didn't offer much, but the starters, barring one, were excellent tonight. But the Pacers had too much. They've just found a system that works, and their starters, man, did they torch us in the first half from the paint and in the second half from the outside. It's exactly what the Indiana Pacers have done all season. They've been impressive. I thought especially they were going to be a bad team. They improved to 21-17. The Raptors 16-21, and will open up the new year with a loss here in a bit of a difficult part of the schedule coming up. Next game, you've got the Bucks. Then you go play the Knicks, not as hard of a game, and the Blazers, not as hard of a game, but still three tough teams. This is a very perilous situation for the Raptors. 122-114 is the final score here. It's just a team that is not showing enough of an ability to find wins. That's the simple fact of the matter. The officials in this game definitely weren't the best, but the Raptors were the product of their own demise. In the first half, they allowed 40 points in the paint. It definitely was a game plan by the Raptors to limit the three-point shooting by this Pacers team, who play four guards to start the game. They start with four guards and a big. For most of the game, they play four guards, one big. They have a starting unit and a bench unit that really worked in the first half. Overall, their bench wasn't great all game, but it's just the way they play. The Raptors were so focused on stopping the threes that it's always a bit of a trade-off here. The Raptors want to stop one thing, well, then a whole other thing opens up. That was the 40 points in the paint for the Indiana Pacers in the first half, which kept them in the game amidst some excellent offensive play overall by the Raptors team. Socttie Barnes was initiating the offense and was making the team tick. He looked excellent in this game. Barnes' finish was 23 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. That's one of the more impressive games of the season for Socttie Barnes by a long way. He was a plus 16 on the. He's a plus 16, highest on the Raptors in the game, second highest in the game period, only behind Ben Mathurin. Socttie Barnes played 40 minutes, and in those 8 minutes he was off, it just really felt like everything fell apart. He was a plus 16 in 40 minutes, and the Raptors lose this game by 8 points. The incredible net rating on and off the court rating. The Raptors fell apart without him because the way he was initiating the offense, and nobody else could do it. Fred VanVleet was a disaster in this game. Malachi Flynn was a disaster in this game. It was all Socttie Barnes there. Siakam had just a casual 26 points efficiently again, as he does every game. Gary Trent was outstanding yet again right here. But the bench sucks, and Fred VanVleet this game really highlighted what's been going wrong with Fred VanVleet this season and how much it is affecting this team, because I don't care. This guy's obviously, he's a good shooter. This guy can shoot threes. He hasn't been, but he's a guy who can shoot threes. Catch and shoot shots, he's got to take. If he's open for a catch and shoot opportunity, he's got to take. Plain and simple. The thing is, he's taken more than that. He's taken more than just the catch and shoot ones. And the catch and shoot ones today, my God, they were not falling. Late in the game, I know it ended 8 here. Raptors were down by 3. Wide open three-pointer for Fred. Wide open three-pointer. Just off center. Nowhere near. Pacers go the other way and won. 6-point swing. Instead of a tie game, you're now down by 6. Then the Raptors were down. I think they were down by 5. Fred in the corner. Wide open. Wide open. Not even close. Short on the 3. It's you give him these chances. These are the ones he's just got to hit flat out that he's not hitting on a consistent basis. And beyond just the offense today, and I'm one who usually sticks up for Fred VanVleet because I think people are overly critical on him. Today, the criticism is well warranted. Because not just on offense, the defense was bad. Point of attack defense was very poor. And the Raptors, who have no rim protector, had to play really 5-out on defense to manage the Indiana Pacers shooting storm. They had no rim protection, which really relied on the initial defender to not allow the player to dribble by you so easily. Fred VanVleet wasn't doing that and afforded a lot of opportunities for the Pacers. That being said, he finished the game as a +2, but very much late in the game, things deteriorated as a result of a poor performance from him, and fingers can also get pointed at the bench. Going to the bench here, we'll start with them. They all finished in the negative. Raptors, all the starters finished in the positive, barring Siakam. But the bench was horrible today. The bench combined for 7 points. And we're going to see in a second why that was such a big deal, because the Pacers bench was very, very good. Gary Trent, outstanding, 11 for 18, 32 points. It's nice seeing Gary put up those points. This is the thing. You know your bench is so bad. This is why I'm an advocate for Gary Trent as a sixth man. What Nick Nurse is doing when Gary Trent starts, that he plays starter minutes. He played 40 minutes tonight. When he's coming off the bench, he's still been playing like this, but he's been getting like 28 to 32 minutes. So my argument for the six-man thing for Gary Trent is that you can still get starter minutes. He just makes the bench a lot better because he adds that scoring there and adds that floor spacing to a bench unit that doesn't really have any, period. But using the starting lineup, we're again seeing how bad the bench can be for this team. Further down, Siakam, again, a casual 26, 7, and 7. Like, he just does that in his sleep these days. OG, he had a tough game as well. 3 for 11 from 3, and a lot of those were open. He did manage 17 points, though, and 8 rebounds, and looked good on defense. Barnes, like I said, was exceptional. I already talked about him. VanVleet I've spoken about enough of, but wow. Did we need him, and he was bad tonight. You go to the Pacers side, their starters all finished in the minus. The starting unit was great. Wow. Their bench, 2 players are +9, one is +11, one is +13. Ben Mathurin is +21. Ben Mathurin scores 3 times as many points as our bench. TJ McConnell scores more than double our bench. Smith scores more than our entire bench combined. Brissett and Duarte combined for the exact amount of our bench. The bench certainly let us down today, among other things that were bad for the Raptors that I've spoken about. Team stats, I wonder what these are going to highlight here. The Raptors started very well shooting-wise. That fell off a little bit in the fourth quarter, but 45 and 33, that's just slightly under average in both categories. In the end, maybe that's what makes you pay, because they shoot about, maybe a tick above league average in both categories. 48 from the field, 37% from 3. They win the rebound battle. They crash the glass. Like, this is a small team, but they crash the glass. They make it difficult for you there. 15 offensive rebounds would indicate that. Jalen Smith, Miles Turner, I think Jalen Smith in particular looked good in that department. They also had more defensive rebounds to go along with that. Turnovers wouldn't save us. They committed 13. They did a good job keeping that lower. Raptors committed 11. Points in the paint are a big problem. Second half, it wasn't as bad, but first half, it kept the Pacers in it. 40 points in the paint in the first half. They finished with 62. I mean, it's a game that comes down to the wire. It comes down to big plays. And when it came to the big plays in this game, Buddy Hield had a couple of massive three-pointers. One was a sidestep. One was open, I think. Hits both. The Raptors get Fred, who's supposed to be their best shooter, one of the best in the league, was in the three-point contest last season. They get him 2 wide open, gilt-edged three-point opportunities. Can't hit either of them. That's what the game comes down to, but throughout the game, Fred struggled, and it highlighted, the deficiencies of this Raptors team. It was very clear today the Raptors could have operated without Fred and probably would have looked better today operating without him. As far as, people still begging to trade. I mean, I'm not looking at the chat right now, but I'm sure there's been a lot of, trade Fred stuff in here. He's an expiring contract. Everybody keeps talking about this Orlando trade package they've seen somewhere. It was 3 players in a first. Fred is on an expiring contract. The only teams that are going to want him are teams that are in the playoffs and need extra ball handlers. Teams like the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas don't have anything enticing to give us the other way. Another team that could want him are the Lakers. But I don't know if the Lakers are going to want to commit to going for another player here when there's so many problems with the team. They're probably not going to make the playoffs anyway. Fred is going to be a difficult player to trade. 100%. And I really think it would be a criminal asset management if you just get rid of him somehow. It's going to be difficult to trade a guy who's just not having a good season, flat out, and is on an expiring contract. Decision making will have to be like near the deadline. What the possibilities are there? Do you see Fred in your future? Do you see Fred getting a contract that you're comfortable with in the offseason? These are all questions that need to be had. But today in particular, the way Scottie Barnes is dictating the offense, I think this team would have looked a lot better with Barnes at the point, Gary Trent, Siakam, and Anunoby with a proper rim protector. Even maybe that rim protector a lot of the time is just Koloko. That 4 plus a rim protector would be an outstanding 5. And the Raptors' best 5-man net rating is the lineup that I just listed there. It's clear that this team can operate without Fred. The asset management needs to be on point, though, to see where it leads to throughout the rest of the season. But Raptors now 16-21, looking at the top of that Eastern Conference. I'm really wondering what would be the point of continuing on like this. But as long as the team is continuing on, they have my support. Whether the decision is to, go all out or tank, I'll support it either way. But yeah, I am very much like at this point, 16-21. What is the point? What is the point right now? Because this team has no direction, and until it does, it's going to continue to frustrate myself and the rest of the fans out there. That wraps up our post-game show. Very sad scene for the Raptors, but we got to address it as it is. Thank you so much for watching this. Please, if you did enjoy, be sure to drop a like. It's the easiest way to support Amateur Hour and our content. And please make sure you subscribe for more Raptors content just like this. If you like the Raptors, promise you're going to love this channel. So make sure you're subscribed for more for the rest of the season and beyond.